Okay, I am here with Kim, and she's the author of How I Spent My $1 Billion, Part 1. Kim, introduce yourself, please, and tell us about your book.
Well, my name is Kim, of course. My book is really a fictionalized autobiography. And that was actually going to be the title, a fictionalized autobiography of a very generous middle-aged cat lady. But that was sort of long, so a little bit long-winded. So I kind of like condensed it to what the actual point was that the lottery had reached $1 billion when I first started writing the book, which is 4 years ago. So I said, well, How I Spent My $1 billion was a better title. And really it's about, just a person such as myself who is just making their way in the world. They win the lottery, and at the very same moment they win the lottery, a big disaster hits, and my character loses someone very near and dear. And so it kind of is a bittersweet jackpot, like a lot of life is like that, where you have extreme highs and extreme lows that meet you right at the same minute. And so going from there, she reconciles some of her past. She explores, what giving and what love and what forgiveness is all about. And that's part 1. So in a nutshell.
That's awesome. And it sounds like there's a message that you really wanted your readers to take away with. What are some of the messages that you wanted to relay to people that are reading your book?
Well, I really think that being generous of heart and being generous with your resources does not necessarily mean money. I have to say, I take that kind of a hint from Ellen DeGeneres, where she's always saying, be kind to one another. And that was really playing a part through this whole 4-year process of writing the book, is that, kindness is its own kind of wealth in this world. One of the characters in my book has the ability to connect with people and even, end up getting their email address, giving her email address, and a hug and a poem and a card at their birthday. And she just sort of collects people easily, which is not the main character. The main character struggles with that big time. How to be wealthy without money, in a way, is the message. But the money gets thrown in there. Doesn't hurt.
That's very true. It never hurts, does it? So I know you're working on part 2. That's in the works. How was it publishing for the first time, and how was it publishing with Christian Faith Publishing?
Well, I'll tell you, it was seamless. My hand was held the whole process, okay? I had my first draft and turned it in. I was given a feedback on what maybe or may not need to be changed depending on my, emphasis, how I was writing it. For example, like curse words, if you put in little percentage signs or however they say, do you really want to do that?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And so everything from beginning to end had a way for me to communicate, am I doing this right? There is a different jargon when you go through publishing than just writing a short story for a class. You know what I mean? And so there's jargon about, even promotions and about editing and about getting the cover design and all of those things. And whew, it went over my head a bunch. But every time Leslie was right there, somebody from Christian Faith Publishing was right there, and it made it seamless. And I was very, very happy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. How did you feel when you finally got to see your book in person?
It's like a magic trick, like when someone does a magic trick for you and you're like, how did you do that? But it's a good way, because I knew how it got there. But when you finally see it, it's like you're pulling away the curtain on The Wizard of Oz. and you say, how did you do that? Well, I did that, you know? And it's like a magic trick and a gift both combined.
Yeah, it's such an amazing accomplishment, Kim. So congratulations. I have one last question that I have to ask you, and I'm just curious, if you won $1 billion, Kim, what would you buy with it? What's your first big purchase?
Okay, to tell you the truth, it's in the book. The very first thing that I would do is that I would pay rent for everybody who lives here for a year.
Yeah, it's I might be moving into your space.
I know it's a little glimpsed out the book. I set up, everybody has rent, cable, internet, all of that for a year, paid for them. And it's just one of those little things that I've always wanted to do is, and in real life, I was able to do it a couple of times on a real small scale, like help someone with 1 month's rent. But I've always wanted to be able to take care of a lot of people, you know, I really have. And that was how I got to play with the money.
Yeah, I love that. And it sounds like your book has just an amazing message about being generous at heart. And that's a challenge for all of us to take on. Yeah. And so thank you so much for visiting with me and sharing your book. Again, it is called How I Spent My $1 Billion, Part 1. Part 2 is coming soon. And thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate it.
Well, it was my genuine pleasure.
Bye.